starting on page 89, which is reference maps. Okay, everybody get there? Okay, well obviously you see where Italy is. You go east of Italy, you see the Black Sea. Everybody find the Black Sea? Okay. Well, the one that's labeled the Black Sea. Okay. You see right on the southern coast of the Black Sea a place called Bithynia. Yes. Okay, that's where Catullus did his military service, was in Bithynia. So he's coming back from Bithynia, he's coming back home to northern Italy. And he addresses his home, this place called Sirmio. And he says, "O Sirmio, the Ochele, the eye," literally Ochelus is eye. You are the eye of Paene Insularum and of Insularum. Peninsulas and islands, yes. You are, and another way we sometimes translate that in English, you're the darling. We use that expression, right, the apple of my eye, that kind of thing. He says, you are the very eye of peninsulas and islands. And quascumque in liquentibus stagnis, marique vasto fert uterque Neptunus. And you're the eye or the darling of peninsulas and islands, and quascumque, whatever, uterque Neptunus, and I'll explain why Neptunus is modified there, and whatever uterque Neptunus, okay, uterque is each. And whatever each Neptune, and this is easier to do just with your book and not with your calculator, I imagine. But this is, and whatever each Neptune fert. What verb does fert come from? It does not come from that. It does not come from that. Pharaoh, good. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, Tuli, Lot. There you go. Okay. And it really isn't. It isn't. It isn't.
Wait, where does it come from?
That I don't know. Now, flatulence comes from Latin. Flatulence is the kind of the fancy term for, you know. But passing gas is another. Right. The rotten root of that is flare. It's the first conjugation verb, and it is a verb that is used of blowing wind. Now, typically that's on the ocean and filling sails and whatnot, but by extension it has gotten, you know, right, flatulence. You're making stuff up now. All right. Darling of islands and peninsulas, and whatever each Neptune fert.
You're not going to get a serious answer.
I know, you can't get a serious answer, get past this. And whatever each Neptune brings or carries in the liquentibus stagnis. Oh, and okay, in some kind of the liquentibus stagnis. And now, unfortunately, stagnant comes with a very negative connotation for us. But stagnant is what kind of water? Still, and that's what you want. Which, or whatever things each Neptune brings in still waters and in the vasto mare, and in the vast sea. All right, so Neptune is described as each Neptune, because Neptune is god of both salt water and fresh water. Okay, so that's why it's each Neptune. Saltwater Neptune and freshwater Neptune. And he says, Sirmio, you are the absolute best place to be. You are the best of all islands and peninsulas. And as a matter of fact, you're the best of anything that has to do with the water. Whether it's something that's out in the deep ocean, or it's something that has to do with a lake or a river. You, Sirmio, you are the best. You are the darling, the Ochele, quam te lebenter, quamque laetus in viso. Now there's a sense of quam that I don't know that you know. What do you think of when you think of quam? Okay, whom, which, that, stuff like that. Whom, which, etc. Okay, and if it means that, then quam is a form of qui quod, and it's a what kind of pronoun? Relative. It's a relative pronoun. You do know this, or you may have forgotten it. It can also mean than when it's used with a comparative. All right, so something is fortior quam, blah, blah, blah. Something is stronger than something else. But it can also mean how, but especially as an exclamatory. How tired I am. Right, that kind of exclamation. You throw quam in there. He says, oh, Sirmio, you're the darling of all places, whether it's in the ocean or the still water. How libenter, how freely, and how lightus, happily, I in viso te. I come to visit you. I want to come to you. You're a place I want to be. I come to you freely. I come to you happily. I, vix me ipse credens thiniam atque bithynos liquisse campos, et videre te in tuto. I, vix credens, scarcely credens, from credo, scarcely believing me, which is short for me. Scarcely believing myself to have liquisse. Liquisse, from linquo, linquora, to not remain, to have left behind. There it is. I, scarcely believing myself to have left behind. And now he names both the place and the people, Thynia and the Bithynians. He's making a reference to where he has just served his military duty. I can hardly believe it. Scarcely believing that I have left Thynia and the Bithynians, and that I videre te, and that I see you in tuto. In safety. Now, I don't know, Patrick, your brother's out at the academy. Has anybody else got relatives, especially any brothers or sisters, who have done any active duty military service? Yeah?
It's my uncle.
Your uncle?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever connected with your uncle after he has come back home?
Yeah, he's done tours in the past few years.
Okay.
He's come back.
Could come back and forth, okay?
My uncle, he's been active duty in Afghanistan, Iraq, and now
Okay.
I think he might be going over to Germany.
Have you ever been with him after he's been home for a period of time?
Yeah, when he was up at West Point.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
And those sisters in the Peace Corps. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you been with your sister after she's come back home for any length of time?
Oh, I said Emma's sister, not.
Oh, Emma. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said that. Okay. So, what's it like? We'll kind of stay with you guys here. What was it like for your relatives to come back home? What were they excited about that? Were they glad of it?
He seemed to be really happy that I was back.
Yeah.
It didn't seem much different than normal, just because it's kind of a routine thing.
Right, but kind of on his end, he was happy to be back. I think the important word here is tuto. Any soldier you stand a chance of losing your life. And Catullus is like, I kind of can't really believe it. I'm done with my military service. I actually survived. I didn't die. And I'm coming back home. I can't believe I've left that other place behind, and I can't really believe that I'm seeing my home again. Both things. This is fantastic. I cannot wait, really, Sirmio, to see you. Okay? Well, all right, let's talk about where this place is. So, this is, of course, a real place. This is not Narnia.
Oh.
I'm pretty positive. Go ahead and erase that, somebody. Okay, it is still on the map. In fact, we're getting ready to show you on the map today.
Is Narnia on the map?
Narnia is not on the map,
That's a shame.
but it should be. Okay, so here's. All right, so here's. All right, so here's Rome. Okay, see where we are? Rome's western and central in Italy. All right, we're going to keep going in a little bit. Okay, and we're going to, oops, we're going to go, whoa, wrong one. Get that out there. There we go. We're going to go up. Okay, so you saw where we were from Rome, right? So I'm going to do that again. So here's, you see it's now it's called Sirmione. Okay. And you can see it's this teeny tiny little strip of land that ends in this little blob as you get out to the end of it. So it's this, truly is almost an island. It is a true peninsula. This little strip of land and comes right out here. Well, here's a picture of it.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
And just that picture alone, you can see why Catullus or anybody else would be happy to come home here. Beautiful blue waters. You're really separated from maybe the hustle and bustle of life inland in Italy. And believe it or not, we've got the remains of what is called the Grotto of Catullus, or Catullus' house. Now, we don't know if this is actually Catullus' house or not, but it is called that, and certainly it is a well-to-do Roman villa that you can go and explore, and has been excavated quite a bit, the Grotto di Catullus.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I had to make a Roman villa before. Not like life-size one, but at the academy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, in third grade.
It was really good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So you could actually go there. I gotta be honest, I think it would be very neat to go there.
That
What are the other
house.
Yeah.
He lived on that.
Yeah, on tabs and stuff that we need to worry about. Twitter, Facebook, Skyward. So, stuff that we really don't need to worry about. Yeah, you get the idea there. So, beautiful. Now,
Hey,
what's
is that
that?
Wikipedia?
Is that Wikipedia? I thought that wasn't a reliable source.
The other one is Wikipedia, yeah, because it was a good picture.
But that's not a reliable source.
Oh, that's absolute nonsense.
What if that's someone's backyard?
Thank you.
That's absolute nonsense. Look.
And it's just like super
All right. I want to go back to that picture. And I don't want to spend time on this. I really
They have an
don't.
ocean. They have a
But
little pond in there.
Wikipedia is a fine source for certain things. It's a fine source. If you want to do a quick first pass, get some quick information about something, it's a fine source. Now, I wouldn't use that as your final or your only, right? But I mean, as a quick first pass, there's some good basic information. Yeah.
Did you know it's like they were
I could have gone a long time without knowing that. All right, moving on.
Margaret, what'd you say?
Moving on. No, don't repeat it.
He likes the
we-
weird books.
Line 7 and
Margaret,
following.
what'd you say?
It's about weird.
The next 2 lines, actually next 4 lines. O quid solutis, down through acquiescimus lecto. Those 4 lines, you can pull those out and have a little poem just in and of themselves. He says, O quid, oh, what is beatius?
What is it like?
Ah, beatius. Well, first off, what degree adjective is beatius? Comparative, good. Oh, what is more blessed? Very good. What is more blessed or blessed than curis solutis? And I would find it hard. All right, here's the deal. If you don't agree with him on this one, you're lying. Flat out. You have to agree with that. Oh, what is more blessed than curis? Old first year word, cura, and cares, worries, concerns, having been solutis.
Solve.
Yeah, we do get the word solve from it.
Reason.
Loosened or cast off. I don't know if there is a generation that is more stressed than you. We've maybe talked about it before, but they've done studies that suggest that the stress level of the American teenager right now is at the same level as that found in mental patients who are actually hospitalized for mental illness in the 1950s.
No, I feel great.
You are incredibly stressed generation.
Not much more.
And he says, what is better than concerns, cares, worries that have simply been laid aside? To be able to cast that stuff off when the mind, and this is very much hitting you where you live as a student, when the mind reponit onus, lays aside its burden.
I don't think I had issues.
When you don't have to worry about anything, you don't have to think about anything. When the mind lays aside its burden. And now this refers more to the travel part. And fessi with peregrino labore. Fessi, or de fessi, is a synonym. Fessus, fessum, or de fessus. Tired, there it is. And tired with peregrino labore. Yeah, with some kind of work, and it will say it's not with domestico, foreign work. Tired with foreign work, because you've been away from home, so anything away from home is foreign. Tired with foreign work, we venimus. We come to nostrum larem. To our, we haven't talked about this in a long time. Do you remember the name?
Oh, Lares.
The Lares and the Penates. Nice. The Lares and Penates. And Rania, what are the Lares and Penates? Household gods. It's a very intimate way of saying coming home. When we come back home to our household gods. And we acquiescimus. Great word. And we rest. Do you know the English word acquiesce?
Yes.
What does acquiesce mean?
Pause. Like if you're acquiescent.
Yeah, okay, well, what does that mean? What's acquiesce or the verb adjective acquiescent?
Taking a break.
No.
Sleep.
Being relaxed.
What's that?
Being relaxed.
Kind of, it means to yield to. If I acquiesce to you, that means I will yield to what you're saying, or I will go with your bill if you're putting it forth in the Senate or something. I will acquiesce, I will give in to you. And when we give in to our desiderato lecto, I like it better than rest. It's a little more descriptive. When we give in, when we yield to our desiderato lecto, some kind of bed.
Long.
To our what?
Long bed.
To our desired
Oh,
bed.
long before.
That's the best.
How many of you, when you wrote about what it was you like about home or your room, referenced your bed?
Or 1 and 2.
There you go.
I just referenced it was all.
2,000 years and nothing has changed. You can tell us the same, man, there is nothing better when you get back home and you've been gone for a while to get in your own bed. In your own house. And it's comfortable and you're familiar and you know it and you're not in, again, for us, it'd be maybe a hotel. And honestly, boy, you didn't stay in a hotel if you could avoid it in the ancient world. Hotels were dangerous. You stayed with family friends or friends of friends. You did not stay in a taberna. Tavern, right? Which is where we get our word tavern. But a taberna was an inn.
I thought a tavern was like a bar.
Yeah, that's
It
what I thought
is,
too.
but it comes from the idea in the old times, a taberna would serve you food and usually have a few rooms to put you up in as well. And so it's for travelers, but the kind of people that stand in taberna, traveling soldiers, people who were unconnected with anybody else and didn't have good roots in that area, didn't have friends or family, and so very often it was high crime. So you avoided staying in a taberna if you could. Yeah.
Oh, so that was the only reason why they said it was dangerous?
Yeah, just because of the kind of people that would tend to stay there. If you could, you'd stay with family or with friends, yeah.
What were their beds even like? They're like leather.
Wow, now,
Speaking of rock.
one of the things I gotta say that I'm deeply grateful for are springs. Okay, because that provides all kind of supports. It's basically like shock absorbers in your car, right? Honestly, piles of blankets, stretched out. Sometimes, we're not talking that far. On the one hand, we're very civilized with poetry like this, but in other stuff, it's not much different from American frontier days. Okay, so you might even have some, if it's a clean out place, nice clean straw, lay down on the ground, right? Or if you've got the ability to raise that up a little bit on some sort of frame and then cover it with blankets and so forth, or lay down on a pile of blankets, that sort of thing. Yeah.
If they had a frame, well not like a metal frame, but like something to raise it up, would they like not have, would they didn't have springs, would they like tie springs?
You're right, you have like ropes,
Yeah.
and that goes there even here in America, my goodness.
Yeah.
We used to have that kind of stuff.
What's like a cut, like in the frame?
I guess if you go to Conner Prairie and you see early American stuff like that, that's what you had. Yeah.
So when we talked about like how a lot of the Romans didn't actually believe in a lot of mythology,
Yeah.
would most of them still believe in their lares and panacea, or would it be like the same kind of thing?
Doesn't matter, it's just your stuff.
Is it like
It's just your stuff, your familiar stuff. I'm used to seeing that little statue in that part of the wall, right off the kitchen. You know, it's the familiar. It's the familiar.
So
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't necessarily like believe.
Not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily. Hoc est quod unum est pro laboribus tantis. Wow. Hoc est. Hoc est.
Is.
This is, there you go. This is quod.
Because.
The other one. What? There you go. This is. What is the unum thing?
The one thing.
This is what is the one thing pro for tantis laboribus,
So many words.
for such great works. It is not just about money and wealth. And yeah, Horace kind of had that same kind of attitude too. But Catullus takes a different tack. It's not about being as wealthy as you possibly can. It's about comfort and home. And this is what you end up working for, is that you've got a nice place to go back to, a place that you can call your own. In this case, it's on the island or this peninsula of Sirmio. And then he ends it, he says, Salve!
Hello.
Hello! Oh, Venusta Sirmio! Oh, lovely Sirmio. And I'm looking at that picture, I'm going, that's a pretty apt description. Venusta Sirmio. Hello, oh, charming Sirmio. And ero gaude gaudente. Gaude is the imperative here.
Rejoice.
Rejoice, he says. Rejoice with ero gaudente. Now, ero is a word you haven't had before. It's eros, eri, masculine, and it's a synonym for dominus.
Master.
Rejoice with your gaudente ero.
Rejoicing master.
Rejoice with your rejoicing master. I'm happy to be home, and I want you to be happy too.
You okay, Nia?
And wos.
And you.
Now, wait a minute. He's changed addressee because this you is you singular or plural.
Plural.
It's you plural. And you. Oh, you Lydiae undae lacus. Oh, you Lydian waves of the lake. Well, first off, the waves of the lake, right? That's what he's talking about right here. This big old lake. We saw that on the map, right? And you waves of the lake, laugh. Laugh. Laugh, quid est domi cacinorum. And whatever there is of cacinorum, whatever there is of laughter at domi, at home. I want the land to laugh. I want my house to rejoice and be happy. Your master is home. And I'm happy to see you, and I want you to be happy to see me. Now, very different kind of poem. So, what would it look like for you? I want to go to that last question.
Sorry.
Maybe it'd be something like this. Maybe it'd be something else. I don't know. What does the ideal getaway place look like for Leah?
Oh, I said like something.
And Tony, you can go ahead if you would shut that off for us, please.
No, they
Thank
can
you.
hear. I'm just kidding. But so somewhere like